to crypto.
Last year, cryptocurrency funded every kind of dangerous criminal.
But I would not touch crypto in a million years.
Bitcoin is going to zero.
If I was the government, I'd close it down.
People are losing money in scams and huckster flim-flam artists.
These people who own these things should not own your money in any of those. I do think you're an idiot, okay?
It's over.
Go fuck yourself. Yourself. Is that fair? I hope it is.
Sorry, I still have to attach this this multitask to my Stream Deck in order to be able to get it to where it does a bunch of clicks and I don't have to do them all. It's going to make my life a lot easier. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully it's a good one. All you people that own Matterport, I'm sure turned out pretty good, except for people who maybe went a little too high on the strike. You might have lost some or broke even. If so, I'm sorry to hear it. I wish I would have picked the lower strike. I would have really raked in the money. I only got like 120, 130% today. I saw some of you guys getting 600, 700,000. That's pretty awesome. Congratulations. Very happy for you. I got to say this, though. I can't complain. So I'm trying to figure out what I have. I think I made 170,000 today. It might be a little bit more because I realized at least 30. For this, that gets me to 120, then all my other accounts and crypto related stuff. So I think it's between 160 and 170, a very good day. Nice bounce back from just a rough couple of weeks. So pretty excited about that. Yeah, nice green day for sure. Here's the deal. Now, you can see some of my winners at least, right? Like Cypher up 46,000. MicroStrategy up 30,000, CleanSpark up 28, ArcG up 12. I actually bought some of that today too. That was fun. Market Maker, we're fucking with us. Yeah, they fuck with a lot of people, right? Intelligent computing, like I can't wait to show you what the S&P, NASDAQ, and Russell look like. They look like really clean bounces from a technical level. It's beautiful stuff. And then if you guys missed my video earlier, I listened to David Rosenberg and Tom Lee talking about their thoughts on inflation and cutting rates and the markets, both bond and stock, and that was a really good one. Again, positive stuff. I think Tom's trying to walk a fine line right now because unlike me, he's got a very large presence, and so he probably takes a lot of heat when he doesn't get things perfectly right. So he's dialed back the optimism a little bit, but I'm pretty sure he's going to come back gloating here soon, as much as Tom Lee does, because he's going to deserve the victory lap. Now, today, I did a lot of buying. Mostly Tesla, and then earlier in the day when ArcG was down, I bought a bunch. Let me see here. I think I got that somewhere. Let me pull it up. So yeah, ArcG, I bought 40 contracts of that. Those were a steal. Stupid fucking good deal. Tesla, I think I got 28 contracts today for June 2026. Pretty decent amount. I did sell Hood today because, again, that's a lower multiplier, lower beta item. And I sold a little bit of ETH too, just because I wanted to get more cash. I've got about $40,000 plus heading into tomorrow. So you guys make sure you're around at 3 for Tesla earnings day. It should be a hell of a time. And if we go down, man, I'm gonna be buying that dip. I will easily throw another 40 to 100,000 in that to DCA on my way down. I'm really excited about the company. I made a video about Tesla too. I've made a few recently. They're all pretty good, and they tell you why Tesla is going to go up. Why you should be a part of that trip. Sealess, Matter at 550, but only 275 cash. Not a great deal. Yeah, it's split, right? It's 50-50 for shares and stock. I sold out all mine, so I'm out of that trade. I don't know this new company for anything. So it requires a complete reevaluation in my mind. Gartop 33. What are your thoughts on how high CLSK can go? I think around $140 a share. That's been my going target for a while now. I think it's very attainable. That's making an assumption that Bitcoin goes to 280,000 too, which I've also shown a bunch in my charts and why I think that's going to happen from a technical level. And I think the fundamentals are stronger by the day. We're going to look at some of those in a minute. And they back up my case for $280,000 Bitcoin. You know what's crazy? I always start off where people are telling me I'm way too high. Like way too high. And now it's like most people are surpassing me for what they're putting for their targets. I started really conservatively with 150. That's my low target. And then I bumped it up to 280. But I mean, like Tom Lee in this video from earlier today said $500,000. So I think that's coming. You know, it doesn't have to. Again, 280 is fine. I'll take 280. I'll make a lot of money. I'm hoping to get $20 million here in my investment accounts in the next 2 years. I would be able to probably accomplish it with that. All right. Congrats to the massive Matter trade. Thank you again. Appreciate it. Ugyen. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Hopefully I am. Intelligent Computing. Earlier today, Tom Nash did a good video, not getting shaken out of the market by the market maker. Yeah, I mean, it's totally true. And I retweeted one of his posts, I think. I like Tom. Not everybody likes him, but not everybody likes me either. But yeah, he's a good guy, and he's 100% right. Like it's very easy to get shaken out, and so I've been trying to create videos that reaffirm the fact that you should not let that happen, and that the time to sell is not now. And hopefully, I've done a pretty good job of that, and I've been able to help too. Intelligent Computing, Gartop 33 regarding CLSK. Consider that BTC will likely go to another 4x from here. I think it can. Yeah, totally. We're in alignment. Sealess bought some Tesla call leaps. At first, I mistakenly sold to open. Yeah, that happens. You got to watch what you're clicking on. It's very easy to do that. Took me a while to realize what happened. Yeah, that sucks, man. All right, so I'm going to move on here. I'll get back to chat in a second. So the shitcoin, the main shitcoin portfolio, doing all right. Definitely looks like it's getting ready to break higher. Everything looks like it's getting ready to break higher. You know what I figured out? I figured out on my staking, just on Coinbase here, I'm making $550 a month just staking my Solana and the other shit that I have. Isn't that nuts? It's just, before that would be pretty untrustworthy, like on all of these other exchanges that are not here anymore, like FTX, you know, Voyager was a problem too. Just a ton of these type of exchanges that are just gone or recovering. But nowadays it's safe and government sanctioned. It's with a publicly traded company. It's such a strange concept to me. All right. Next, let's look at this market. Let's look at today's market. I'd say it did pretty good. Meta actually took a little bit of a hit, but I mean, I think there's a reason for that. From what I read, it looks like the WhatsApp on the Meta store for Apple overseas and China, that they demanded that WhatsApp be removed. That's pretty. Meta probably thought they were making some headways into China. That sets them back. So that could be part of that, I'm thinking. Outside of that, though, market did pretty good. Tesla getting its ass handed to it. Everybody just wants to shit all over it. I love that kind of stuff personally. Market looks really good otherwise. The shit coins, again, they look great. Solana outperforming Ethereum by rough 3x. Don't hate it. Lots of good stuff going on there. Definitely risk on. All right, S&P. This is what I wanted to show you guys today. Look at this beautiful drop on the RSI right to the area of oversold, and then a nice bounce higher, getting above some local volume here to where we could try and trade up a little bit higher tomorrow. I think this looks really good. We're up 0.87% on the day. The crucial part is that we bounced above 5,000 again, right? That's the part that everybody wanted to see. Closing last week, if we would have stayed under 5,000, from a technical level, that would have sucked. But if we look at the MACD over here, again, it just looks like it's getting ready to curl around, and it might take a little bit. We could grind for a few days. But this is a deep trough in the MACD on the S&P. The kind of deep trough that we haven't seen. I mean, really, if we measure it right from here, at least since February of 2023. I don't know what you guys realize after that, but it turned out pretty good for a few months. So I think we could see more of that. I see bullishness. SBF, yeah, he's a dipshit. He'll be somebody's prison bitch, if that makes you feel any better. All right. Now, we dropped like 8% on the NASDAQ. And what I wanted to show here, too, is just the same thing. We perfectly bounced off the RSI. It looks great. We had bearish divergence forever. Now, we're actually at a point where we could start to see some of that, or at least test back up to this line. Before going higher. And from a technical level, this looks good. What I'd like to see next is us closing above the 100. Let's look at the weekly real quick here too. Yeah, looks all right on the weekly. Moving averages are so far away on that level. Maybe the 4 hours a better view. Yeah, I want to see us get above the 200. That's the big thing. We want to get above this level. The 17.3, probably 375, 380, just say 17.4 is a level I want to see us get above. That would be nice. That'd be a nice tight level. Now, the NASDAQ only closed up 1%, so 0.87 on the S&P, 1% on the NASDAQ, and let's see what the Russell did. The Russell, like I said, I was telling you, I think it's going to hold on to support here on the 200 moving average, and it's going to perform all right. It did. It found that, last week, and then today it bounced off of it. Looks good so far. Much higher on the RSI on the weekly than the rest of these. And this could be, some bullish convergence and divergence. Yeah, it looks like we should go up. Bullish convergence, yeah. We should be going up on the Russell too. So all of these indices from a technical level look like they found support and did great. Do you have leaps on Palantir? No, I did last year. I made like $600,000 on them. I don't anymore. They're still up so much. I've thought about buying stock on it, but really I'm just going balls deep in Tesla right now and Bitcoin related investments, with a sprinkle on some ARKG and some other stuff in there. So those are my primaries, and Palantir will be coming though. That will be something I invest in. Happy today, 178% on my Matterport. Cool, Marty. I'm so happy to hear you. All you guys that won on that, man, that makes me really, really happy. All right, let's jump over here. So the dollar. Did I skip one? Let me go back. Nope, dollar. So the dollar, today, I said, hey, we could trend sideways for a while. This isn't actually the right one. This is oil. Let's go back. I'm going to get this right ticker here. Let me do U.S. oil. There we go. All right, U.S. oil, up 0.01%. So not exactly what you'd call a good bounce. Just kind of hanging out there. If anything, just hovering above the 50. We'll see if it can bounce. This pattern, though, looks pretty rough to me, and it looks like it wants to break down, and I would assume that we're going to do that. I think we at least test the 200 moving average at $80. There's just not enough geopolitical issues to keep us from doing that. Gold got its ass handed to it today. Again, one of my favorite, shittiest stores of value. Some people love gold. I don't understand why. I get why for thousands of years it was one of the best stores of value on the planet. I totally understand that. But when I go back to 2011, this thing has returned 21%. I'm sorry, that's shit. I don't know what you guys are used to getting for returns, but if it takes me 13 years to get 21% in returns, I'm going to be pissed. And yet people still love this asset as a store of value, and I don't quite get it. I think it's probably just old mentality, boomers at heart, and actual boomers. But people have a hard time adjusting to change. I get it. Not that it won't do all right at some given point for a period of time. Peter Schiff always likes to take his victory laps for his little tiny gains, just little tiny ones. And then they go away. Or then he waits 10 more years and then gets another 5%. All right, DXY. Only up 0.03%, like I said. Treading water. Love it. Can't be mad at this. This is what we want to see, right? We want to see the dollar stabilize. We want to see oil stabilize and drop further. We want to see the bond market not go crazy. Let's check our bond volatility. Nice. Underneath the moving average. I love it. These are screwed up. Did I fix these the other day? Maybe not. Either way, I'll fix this one. But under 2 of the moving averages. Which ones? I don't know. Let's look over here. Let's see. The orangish one is the 100. This is the 200 down here. Okay. All right. So yeah, under the 50, under the 100. I swear to God, I thought I'd fix this. Maybe it was a different ticker. But this is all good from a macro level, guys. This is what we want to see. This is good stuff. You can't be mad at this. Hey, Jesse, if you see this later, can you take a look at Airbnb? Thanks as always. I probably want to do that, if nothing else, for my own selfish reasons. So you guys remind me before we go. I want to look at Airbnb because Airbnb is one of those where what happens at Airbnb can give us an indication of what we're looking at from like the service sector and travel and all that kind of stuff. You want to see good numbers coming out of Airbnb. Otherwise, you know that sector is getting hit. Matt Nguyen, hey, Jesse, do you have an updated portfolio? I don't. I'm sorry. I suck. I will try and do it tonight. I know I've been saying that for weeks, but I'm just like one person and I'm going in a million different directions and I have a personal life. So it's just, if I end up getting some more help, then all of this hopefully should be a lot easier. Matt Wise, hey, thanks for becoming a member, man. Appreciate it. Tyler H, Flux took a dip today. Still looking like a buy. I don't know. We'll take a look at that too. Who is Nick Young? Do you have Leaps? Oh, I already read that one. Alex Garcia. Hey, Jesse, thinking about buying 2026 Tesla Leaps. If you haven't bought any and wanted to get in, I would probably stick you could maybe go lower than that, but I would probably do the 330s personally. I think they're a great deal, but watch my Options 101 video. Figure out how to look at the options chain. You can use NASDAQ.com for that. Also, like I think MarketWatch has one, Yahoo has one. A bunch of places have the options chains. Figure out which one has the highest open interest and volume, and then make sure the target is about right. You could go lower though if you want to be safer. You can go lower. It will just limit your returns. But if you run the options calculator, this thing right over here. Oh no, that's not it. This thing right over here. If you run this optionsprofitcalculator.com, you can get a good bead on all of that. So I would check that out. Which miners are investing most in? I just own CleanSpark and Cypher, really. I saw Riot did good. That's probably a decent one. Maybe Mara still does all right. I like ones that have Bitcoin holdings because they're gonna be able to benefit from FASB accounting rule changes from the beginning of the year. The other ones, to me, are worthless. Kamua H, hey, Jesse, which miners? Oh, wait, that was you. Penny Sun, hey, Jesse, do you have shares for Tesla? No, I don't. Not really. I mean, I have some, but it's just not enough. It's all options right now. I do that, though, a lot. I was more aggressive this time, but a lot of the times what I do is buy options, and then if it really gets crazy and starts falling apart and dropping hard, then I buy calls. This time I've been more aggressive with buying calls. But again, I sold them at the beginning of the year and then bought them like in the last month. I started going heavy and heavier the further down we go. All right, Albert, and then I'll get back to it here. Gold is such a weird storage of value. How can it even be good as 70% gold is used for stupid things? Like, yeah, it's got, and some people will say that that's like the use case. Gold has an actual use case. You'll hear Peter Schiff say that all the time. But it's also cumbersome. Because if you own a lot of gold, I can't transfer it across the world. I could transfer $1 billion across the world, and there's been cases where people paid like $5 in transfer fees, moving $1 billion. If you did that with a bank, you'd probably pay multiple % for moving $1 billion. And if you're moving it to Africa or some other country that's really hard and unbanked, you would pay a fortune to move $1 billion. But think about this. Think if you were paying like a 2% transfer fee on $1 billion. That's a lot of money. A lot of money. Or you could do it for $5. You do you. I think I would stick with, like, I don't know. Just imagine you're trying to leave your country and you're stuck. And you really need to get out, but you got like all this gold and you try and go through the airport with that. Good fucking luck. Good luck. Good luck with that. Good luck. Hey, if you need to go buy something, like good luck carving off the appropriate amount of gold. That's fun. Hut, the shitty miner, was up 15. Hey, man, even shit rises. You gotta love it. Congrats, Hut. Especially Susie. We love you, Susie. Tyler H., how do you read the bond market option volatility index? What does it... Oh, you want it to go down. You want it to go down. It's like the VIX for stocks. So you want to see, like, this had the head and shoulders. It broke down, but then it started coming back up, and now I don't know what the fuck it's doing. I think it's going to go back down. But it could just be meandering for a while and trade sideways, too. That's totally a thing. But ideally, what you have is you don't want volatility to increase, because if bond volatility is increasing, that means that people are probably jumping into bonds, and you don't want them to jump into bonds, because if they jump into bonds, or I should say the opposite, yields are going up, and you could see all kinds of issues. But you want bond volatility to go down, just like you want the VIX, right? You want to see the stock market. You want to see the VIX drop. When the VIX drops, it means the direction you're going in is up. And so you want the same thing with the bond market. If volatility is climbing, the stock market is not doing good. And what I should do is probably just show you this real quick. This is a better example. And I've made a few posts like this. It's like a big middle finger over here. But if you look right over here, the peak of the volatility for this last part was in March of 2023, right when the banking crisis was hitting. And then it stopped and went away, and then the markets did great. And then over here, when the bond volatility index peaked, it was March of 2022 when the sky was falling and everybody thought the world was falling apart. And then that fell down and the stock market skyrocketed. And then over here in 2008, that was the peak fear of the great financial crisis, the GFC. So when that fell down, guess what? 4 years, we did great. So it's a really good, when you see this thing peak out, it's a really good bottom indicator in the markets, and that it's time to go up. And it's worked that way ever since it topped here, this last part too, in March of 2023, when the banks were having all their problems. So that's kind of that. Hey, yeah, if you guys could hit the likes, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much, Intelligent Computing, for pushing that out there. I'll get back to chat in a little bit here. So I want to show you guys something. James Invest Answers. If you don't follow James, he's so great. You should watch him. He's got so much fucking alpha, more than I have. Well, we kind of look at things from different views. I think I've got like a more like commonplace, easy speaking about investing and all the things that are going on, and I think I sum them up pretty good. But James, just for the level of data and alpha he has, is stupid. Now, we're going to watch this video. He's going to talk about Fed pivots and everybody's question. Everybody has this question about, does a Fed pivot mean that markets are going to go down a bunch? Because every time the Fed pivots, the markets go down a bunch. It's not actually true. There are times in the 90s, especially, where the Fed pivoted. They're not marked on this chart, but where the Fed pivoted and the market did not fall apart. But we're just focusing on the ones where it did in this chart. But he's going to talk to that and how they had like an accompanying reason that drove them lower that we might not have right now. And then he's going to step into a couple of other things that I posted about, but I'm going to let him talk about it. It's really good stuff. We're going to watch it right now. Here we go.
When the pivots happened in the past, there was like inflation crises and oil crisis happening at the same time. Then in 2000, there was the dot-com bust. Then in 2007, there's a global financial crisis. And then C19 in 2019. And there was also a little bit of financial scare in late 2019. And then the C19 happened. And right now, we're expecting another Fed pivot. But
all right, wait 1 second. BT, you just tipped me $200, bro. All right, I gotta. That's fucking awesome. Thanks, man. I really appreciate you. That's very kind of you. I hope you make a bunch more money in the future here. I really do. Thank you, bro.
Say this a lot, that maybe this time is different. So yes, these are pretty alarming statistics. But normally the Fed has to cut in time of emergency. But right now, the Fed has to cut for other reasons, which aren't exactly related to emergencies, but there are still some crises out there. First of all, if you look here.
And as I do with about a third of my content, I stole this from James. James, if you're watching, I steal it from you all the time, but I do give you credit, so I think that counts for something. Now, this is a stat that you have to pay attention to. This is frightening right here. This is frightening. So if you look at net interest before the pandemic, it was high, right? This is the net interest that the federal government pays on their debts. It was high. It was like 300 million, but it was sustainable, right? Like interest on our debts wasn't really a big deal. Look at what happened since the pandemic. We went from about 300 million-ish in interest payments to right now, probably closer to $1 trillion in interest payments, surpassing every expense in our budget. Everything. Defense, Medicare, Medicaid, everything. So when people tell you that rates aren't coming down, they don't seem to know what the fuck they're talking about, because they have to come down. There's no choice. You can't deal with this. You can't deal with these expenses. They're astronomical. We have to drop rates or we're fucked. Now, if you guys didn't watch my inflation video earlier today, like I said, with Tom Lee and David Rosenberg, you got to watch that too. You got to listen to what people are saying. These guys actually know what the fuck they're talking about, whereas most people don't. So, again, this is just so crucial. This is so crucial to understand how expensive this debt is and why it has to come down. If you understand that rates have to come down, and then if you understand that they're signaling that everything's okay and that there's no need to do that, and so if they bring rates down in June or July when they're signaling that everything is okay, and we know it's really not because we know commercial real estate CRE's getting destroyed, we know the auto sector's getting destroyed, we know the housing market is completely frozen, we know poor people are getting fucked, whether they know it or not, they're getting fucked, and we know that there's more part-time employment nowadays creeping in, and that full-time is going away. So it's just very important that you guys realize the truth. Please. Andy, real quick, we're going to read this and we'll get back to the video. Andy's out. The Fed pivot often happens as a result of bad economic conditions. The Fed pivot does not cause the bad economic... Exactly. It depends if it's a reactionary function or if it's something that's proactive. If it's proactive, it's not a big deal. Correlation is not causation. Yes, exactly. Again, like if your economy's fucked, you're going to lower rates. So, of course, there's going to be a bunch of times where the economy was collapsing or the stock market was collapsing and rates were coming down because that's the majority of the time they do it. In the 90s, there were like 2 fucking times where everything was kind of cool and they did it and everything was fine. Nobody fucking talks about those. All right, so market crashes cause Fed pivots. Fed pivots do not cause market crashes. Exactly, thank you. Thank you very much. Marty McFly, RJ Cohen, I want to do the same. Don't know where to buy them. What broker do you use? iBroker's a bid or oh, okay. All right, you guys are just talk amongst yourself. Andy's out. Fed pivots can also happen because of other reasons other than bad economic conditions, so it's wrong to say that the Fed is going to pivot. Exactly. That's exactly right. And then when you look at this chart and you realize the truth about why the Fed has to pivot, no matter what they'll be like, hey, everything's fine, but we just want to give it a try. Well, I don't give a fuck what he says. I just know what he's going to do.
Here, there is too large amounts of money that the government has to pay in interest. And this is the same all over the world. This is the same in Germany, the UK, Australia, wherever you are, Canada. And those big bills are Medicare and defense. Okay? Right now,
Tom Nash, bro. Love you, man. Thank you for joining, bro. Really appreciate it. We got to do a live stream again here soon.
Interest on debt that the US has to pay will exceed both of those puppies. And those things are growing fast, especially Medicare with an aging population and defense with more turmoil in the world. But maybe they should stop spending so much money on defense and spend it cleverly on things that are more important like AI and drones and stuff. No.
I actually agree with them. We could spend our defense budget way better. We spend a ton of money on a bunch of broken shit that doesn't even work in a new war. Yeah.
Not the kinetic warfare machinery that is proven not to work in the world today. Anyway, I'm not going to get off on that tangent.
I don't know what you're fucking talking about, Tom. I never swear, bro. Just like you don't.
But here, what is really, really scary is right now, the debt to GDP ratio is more than after World War II in the United States. It's crazy high, and it's going very higher. The deficit will go to $2 trillion soon, and Medicare spending will increase nonstop from now into the future because of the raising population, increasing healthcare costs, debt levels, etc. It's just, This is the whole house of cards. This is why I make Bitcoin videos, because people
We're almost done. There's one more slide I want to show you guys.
need a hedge against this. This is not going to turn out well. Now, not saying there are not crises on the horizon. By the way, crises, plural.
Yeah, so this right here, real quickly. BT, you gave me $200 and you're not even a member. I love you, man. Either way, I love you. I'm not giving you a hard time. All right, so he's showing crises here. Let's just go through them. Commercial real estate loan defaults, CRE. That when people say CRE, that's what they're talking about. That would suck, right? Credit card delinquencies. I didn't even cover that. But yeah, manufacturing slowdown. I've been covering that economic data. Yes, that's happening too. General economic slowdown. Yes, that would be a concern. Regional commercial banking sectors. Yes, regional banks could collapse. That's totally a risk. Global economic risks and volatility. There's a bunch. China's already fucked, guys. We just need to make sure that we can benefit from their being fucked and not suffer from it. And it's going to be a tightrope, but I think we go up before we go down because they're deflating the world as long as we don't, tariff the shit out of them, which might happen too. We'll see. Both Biden and Trump seem to be fighting over that. What'd Tom say? Jesse, we need to do a part 2. Yes, we do. Totally, man. I'm down. You let me know the time. We'll find a time. We'll figure it out. BT can't sign up on the mobile app for some. Yeah, it's if you have an Apple iPhone, they're stupid. They just won't let. I love my Mac so much right now. Like, thank you to, I think Tom, even you were recommending a Mac. James did too. A bunch of people. I'm so glad I'm on it now. Thank you guys for that. I'll never get an iPhone, but thank you for the Mac. Now let's let James finish talking here real quick.
World. Sometimes the armchair critics will say, you spelled crisis wrong. Nope. But here, commercial real estate loan defaults, they're going to happen. The commercial real estate sector is in a world of hurt right now, and that could be like a mini global financial crisis. Also, credit card delinquencies are exploding right now, which is really hurting your average retail person that has a credit card. Manufacturing slowdowns are happening too. The whole area is not very strong. General economic slowdown. The only thing that's growing right now is government. Government is printing, and it looks like GDP is up, but only for government entities for the most part. And then you've got your regional commercial banking sector that could go under. Not just commercial real estate, but also the banks holding the bags for commercial real estate could go under. And we have global economic uncertainty with all the stuff we've seen happen over the last couple of weeks. And it's not pretty out there. And US debt is rising by $1 trillion every 30 days. That's an ugly cocktail. We had a good cocktail before, but anyway, what's going to happen? The Fed have to cut. They're jaw-boning now. Whether they cut in June or July, it's an inevitability, but it'll be gradual, and then the markets will react accordingly. I don't think it's going to be like these times in the past, unless we have a black swan. So that's my thought on the matter. Next, final question from Pink Pony.
All right, so that's just what I wanted to show. I'm not on an island here, guys. There are other people that get it. Again, I made that video earlier that talks about inflation and rates and how they're going to have to come down. They do. They have to come down. That's the reality of it. I want to make sure that you guys understand that. That's why I keep bringing it up, okay? All right. We got Tom providing humor in the chat. Thank you, Tom. I'm going to make you an admin. I'm kidding. Not like you don't have better things to do. All right. Here we go. Let's look here. So let's look at the Bitcoin part of our conversation. United Arab Emirates leads the Middle East in crypto adoption with 72% local users investing in Bitcoin. There is adoption happening all over the Middle East. I think that we're going to see a ton of it from a sovereign nation. I think Mr. 100 is a sovereign nation, and that person is buying basically the daily supply of Bitcoin lately. And then you have, well, that's another slide. We'll look at that in a second. All right, Bitcoin. I just wanted to show you what the measured move for this bull flag is that I was calling from a few days ago, and it looks healthy, guys. If we get above like the 67 marks, right around here, and get above these peak volumes, it's game over in like a really good way. But the measured move, you take the pole right here. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to make a comment. So you take the pole. There's the flag. The flag can't go on for too long. You don't want it to go on for too long. So we want to see a breakout here soon. But the pole itself, this represents the pole, and it wants to hit $100,000 and maybe establish support above the golden retracement zone, the green fib. So maybe we do 92 to 100. That's my target right now. All right, next. This is a good one. This is The Swiss Bitcoiners to launch petition for the national bank to buy Bitcoin for its national reserves. Now, if any country is going to do this, it would be them. It says, by including Bitcoin in its reserve, Switzerland would mark its independence from the European Central Bank. I think that's a really smart move. Not just the central bank, but every sovereign, or like every sovereign currency around the world. So it would be brilliant for them to do, and the Swiss are the kind of group that would do it. Also, this is a pretty good article too, but it says futures demand blows up in Brazil. I mean, think about being Brazilian right now. You got a communist dictatorship trying to fuck you. Of course you're going to buy Bitcoin. Of course you are. They're just imprisoning people because their judicial branch just wants to. Anyway, 7,400 contracts traded on launch day. I expect this to explode even more. I expect there to be massive demand from Brazil. And we have Hong Kong. And we have, Singapore and Korea and all these other like ETNs. And there's so many ways. We have all these investment wealth managers that are getting on board here. Yeah, you guys have to realize this stuff is going ape shit. And then also to anybody who might be a stoner in the crowd, I just wanted to throw this out for you. It says on 420, Bitcoin had the highest percentage level of miner fee revenues ever in its histories. And we've got our little friend here from Stranger Things saying that's so cool, man. But that's pretty remarkable. Again, that was because of Rune. I don't think that'll last for long, but I do think fees, transaction fees, not block rewards, will surprise people to the upside, and Rune could be part of that. There could be other ones too. Everybody was pushing NFTs on Ethereum last cycle. They're going to do it this cycle, guys. I've been seeing it on and off the entire cycle, even in the bear, where transaction fees have spiked at levels, never seen. So you have to realize it's going to be a really busy network. And I've been saying this for a while, but do you know who benefits from high transaction fees the most? Do you know who it is? Not MicroStrategy in this case, even though I love MicroStrategy as a whole. It's the miners. It's the Bitcoin miners that are going to make the most money from this, the most efficient ones, the ones with the largest expansion plans, the ones with the big BTC holdings so they can take advantage of FASB accounting rules. These are the ones you want to hold. And all I wanted to show here with this one, Joe Consorti, great guy, says the Bitcoin ETFs bought 900 Bitcoin on Friday. That we only produce 450 a day. And then you've got to think about sovereign wealth funds like Mr. 100. You got to think about all the other foreign related ETFs. You got to think about the global money printers going out of control right now. And without rates coming down, it's just going to be astronomically high with the money printing. So just want to throw that out there. Wanted to give it an honorable mention. All right, let me see what else I got here. I probably should go over a few of these others real quick. So again, shit coins. Everybody loves their shit coins. Pepe, it's up. Who cares? Stupid. But if you're making money off of it, great. My bonk's still up 39% in the week. Like that. There's a bunch of other shit in here I own. It all seems risk on, doesn't it? Like a week, you're up 30 to 40% in some of these. Seems very risk on to me. Also, something else, and then I'll get back to chat. I'm sorry, I'm running all over the place here. So this is kind of important. These are liquidation levels for Bitcoin, both perpetual contracts. Whoa, what's going on here? I want to go left. How do I do that? This is if there's anything I hate with the Mac, it is the scrolling. It's not my favorite. All right, so the top one is the liquidation map for Binance, and then we've got Bitcoin exchange liquidation map. If we look here, especially on Binance, you could see a wicked wall on the buy side. What's interesting about this is it's showing leverage levels as well. So it's very important. I used to pay attention to buy walls and sell walls. The sell wall is this red one. The buy wall is the green one. So you gotta watch these with leverage, and that's what I love about CoinGlass here and what they show. Because if you look here, if we get around to like 67, actually even below 67. There is some massive like 150x leverage plays that are just going to get fucking destroyed. And as that happens, it will push the price higher. This is where we get God candles, guys. This is where we get them. So, and this is on the Binance one. That one looks really juicy. Also, just the Bitcoin exchange liquidation map, the general one. Again, just a ton of liquidations that need to occur. This includes Binance, OKX, Bybit. These are like the big ones, right? But lots of money to get liquidated to the upside. And when that happens, get ready for it. So good stuff, right? General markets look good. We're still in fear. Can you imagine that? How much higher can we go if we're still in fear right now? We barely even ticked up. We're at a 38. We're not even at neutral. We could have another great day tomorrow and still borderline neutral. So far, all stocks are dropping on earnings today. Whatever. Any interesting earnings that have happened, guys, that you care about? I think a lot of the big ones are going to be starting tomorrow, at least for tech. That's when I'm going to care. All right. And then May, probably not happening for rate cuts. But June, 16.5, not super great. July, what do we got for July? It's not too bad. Not too bad. 41%. That ain't bad. So July looks like the highest probability right now to me. Because, again, I don't think we can wait that long. I'm still operating off that thesis. And I'm going to be right. All right. So tomorrow, nothing really to speak of today, right? As far as data, there was nothing. And then nobody cares about the loan prime rate for China. Buck, who cares? Anyway, Tuesday, tomorrow, we got Redbook. We got global composite, PMI, services, manufacturing, new home sales are going to be shit. Richmond, Fed, manufacturing. So manufacturing sucks. New homes suck. But could any of this tick higher and look positive? I don't know. Building permits are going to suck. Most of this should look like shit tomorrow. Redbook might do all right. We'll see, though. The big stuff, there's nothing really exciting, like I said, guys, until Thursday. We want to see PCE. We want to see GDP growth rates. We want to see jobless data. Thursday is the behemoth. And then Friday, we got more PCE-related data. It's all about prices on Thursday, and then we'll have the other stuff on Friday. So that is probably the focus right now. I'm going to jump back over. We're going to look at some stocks. We're going to pull up some stocks. We're going to look at some Bitcoins. We're going to look at some other stuff. Let's get to it. And now I'll start hopping over here. Why am I doing this wrong? All right, let me see. Bitcoin. I am doing this wrong. Let me go over here. I think I clicked that. I need to click this. Need to do this. There we go. We got the right stuff. All right, let's look at our Bitcoin. Our Bitcoin up 66,517. Again, guys, look for that 67 level for a bunch of people to get fucking wrecked. And then maybe a quick run to 70K. Not even joking. Very possible. That's what I'm looking for. Let's move on. Let's check out my Tesla. I checked again today. I check every day for my Cybertruck to see if it's ready. Every day. It is not ready, guys. Oh, first world problems, man, when you don't get your Cybertruck. It's going to come, though. All right, let's see here. So gap. We're down 3.4%, down 0.34% after hours. Cool. I bought my calls, my 26 or 8 or whatever it was. I bought those down like 11%, maybe even 12 on the day on average. I don't know. It was a pretty good price. So I'm excited. Let's hope we keep dropping. If we keep dropping, maybe 130, possibly 124. I don't think we're making it past 124, guys. Volumes are too great in that level. You can't really see it here, but the volumes are great at that level. And I think at the very least it would act as support. Or maybe we get a really awesome wick down. I don't care. I will buy the shit out of it. Like I said, I'm going to put $40,000 to $100,000 in pretty quick here if we get a big drop. We're going balls deep. All right. Because again, why am I doing that? It's a no-brainer because of the RSI, right? The RSI alone. That's all you need to know. This will be the 4th time, and this isn't quite reporting correctly yet. It will be lower on the week. So we very quickly could be down at this level. And if we get down to this level, it'll be the 4th time in this company's history going back to 2010. And actually, Yeah, 2010, because that's when it became publicly traded. So that's a long time. That's a long time, 14 years, and we're getting down towards that level again. And every time in the history of this company, and I know I reiterate this a lot, but like, look at that fucking shit. Look at this fucking shit. Look at this right here. These are not bad returns, guys. I can make millions off of that. I can make millions off of it, and you should try and make some money off of it too. All right, let's look at some more. PayPal. Let's look at PayPal. PayPal actually had a decent day, up 1.41%. That's not shit. Good job, PayPal. Way to not suck today. Oh, I didn't even pull it up right. God, why I suck today. I need to get my shit together, man. All right. Tesla reports aftermarket closing tomorrow. Yes, they do. In my stream, we'll have it running, so you can watch earnings with me tomorrow. All right, so here's all I wanted to show. We got the 50 giving us support here on the weekly time frame. We also perfectly bounced off of previous resistance levels and found support. We're also perfectly under the majority or above the majority of volume. We just got a big hump here at like the $74 level to overcome. I think we can hit that $74 level or settle above it depending upon how well PayPal can do in earnings. Hopefully they don't suck. But this looks really good. I like the setup. It looks strong. It wants to curve. It's been doing this. It's been preparing for this for years. And if you don't believe me, just look up the market cycle chart and then line it up with this bitch. And tell me what you think. All right, let's look at more here. We're just going to roll through all the stuff I own like we normally do. You know what? Let's look at Matterport. That's a fun one. Let's just do that early. What'd you close up today? 176%. Again, I guess I should just get rid of this fucking chart. Who even cares anymore? All right, so I guess I got to get rid of all these targets. They were met. There's only 2 left. But it's not even going to be Matterport anymore. They are going to have a call tomorrow. The new company is going to be talking about how they're settling things. I sold all my options because they were like up 120, 130% on the day. And they could go higher. It depends if they roll over the options contracts and allow people to retain them. But fuck, man, I don't know if they're going to, and I don't take risk. And my target price was $5, and the lockout, basically what they're going to do for these contracts, is $5.50. So if you had your contract at $5.50, you probably didn't make dick, and I'm sorry for you. This would have been one of those cases where it was a better to either own the underlying stock, because I think people with the underlying, again, you got 176 today. I only got like 120 or 130, so you beat me. So this is like one of the few times where it pays to benefit or own the underlying outside of like a major catastrophe. This was a major upside, but because of the way that they're settling and being so close to the strike, you actually, when something like this happens and there's a buyout, you want to be lower in your price target, not higher, so that because you lose extrinsic value, and all that is just time, right? You lose the value, the premium you pay for the time that you're allotting, and all you get is intrinsic. And so I think some people probably missed out or didn't realize that that's all they would get. And if you were too high in the strike, you're just fucked. So that can suck for people too. You need to remember this. You need to learn these lessons from markets. But again, congrats to everybody who made a bunch of money off of it. Anybody making 3-digit percentages in a day, I don't think you can call that a bad day. So I'm happy for all you guys. SoFi. Let's do another one here. Wow, Frenchie, what up, brother? Bonjour. Hey, Intelligent Computing, did you just give him a baguette? That's very nice of you. All right. $3 strike. Oh, BT, what did you end up for your returns then? No wonder you're giving me $200. Thanks, man. Either way, thanks and congrats, dude. I'm really happy for you. Good job on the strike. Good job picking them, guys. See, you don't always need to follow me. Sometimes you got to think for yourself, and you might outperform me. It wouldn't be the first time it's happened. $10,000? Fucking great, dude. Kick ass. Good for you, bro. Don't spend it all in one place. Or you know what? Buy some baguettes for Wild Frenchie. He doesn't get enough of those in France. He needs more baguettes. All right. SoFi up 2% today, down 2.28% in after hours. I can't hate that. We perfectly bounced off the fib. We bounced off the downward resistance line that had more recently been turned into support. Only went underneath of it for a brief period of time before going higher. I just want to see us get above peak volumes in this 750 range. That's really what it's about. And then, gosh, if we get above .618 and turn this into support, it is off to the races on this bitch. And I think we could do $12. And $12 with the options I own would put me back in the money again, and I would like that because I don't like being out of the money. I like making it. All right, let's see what else we got here. I'm probably going to forget a bunch of stuff. You guys might have to remind me here. Let me scroll down. Oh, yeah, let's go through. We'll look at Square real quick, and then we'll hit the miners and MicroStrategy. I can't pass those up, right? You guys made double digits off of those today. We're underneath the 100s still on Square, so we want to get above that. We are above peak volumes, though. This thing has a very hardy level of support sitting underneath of it. I could not be mad at it at all. It goes back years. Really, it's just a matter of getting back above this downward trending line again. Since we tried to break above and broke down, you want to get it back above that. If you get back above that, it's off to the races. So Square could do really well. I don't feel like I own enough. I think I only have like 15 grand. Palantir, yeah, we could pull up Palantir real quick before I forget. I did not look at it today, honestly. I didn't own enough of it, and it's not asymmetric enough for me right now. Albeit I do love the company. I love the CEO. I love people who speak their minds and who have conviction and are real. It's still underneath the fib, so I wouldn't get too excited yet. We're up 2.44%, though. That's pretty good. It just needs to get above that. And here's the problem with Palantir right now. There's so much volume above us that you could get stuck at like the 23s or something without something fundamental happening. If they close some really great contracts, if they have some amazing things happen, it will drive the price higher, right? God, I need to work on my ums. You know what? I found out there's an AI plugin that I can get for OBS. That's what I'm using to strain this stuff. That might automatically remove my ums and ahs. How cool is that in real time on a live stream? It would also take out my cuss words, but I feel like I don't really want to do that. So we're probably going to keep those. Plus, you guys don't want to hear beeps all the time. It'll just get annoying. Yeah, so Palantir, I don't know that I'm totally psyched here. Like, I would still worry that the $22, $23 range could end up rolling over. Again, there's just so much price history over here. It will act as resistance. I've been saying that all along. I was saying it through here. I was saying it up here. I think I bought some over here, and then I sold it over here, and people are like, what the fuck are you doing again? Some of the Palantir people do not like me. But, you know, some of them are batshit crazy. Others, though, like Arnie and Amit and all these other guys, they're brilliant. And Tom's been an advocate for it for a long time, too. I love all those guys. They're the good shit. All right, so let's get to all the things that made us money. Oh, I do want to hit ARKG real quick here, because I was very happy about this bounce today, too. We're still way underneath. We're underneath the previous support line that started way back over here. So I want to see us get above that. We couldn't establish support over here. We found it briefly right here. We couldn't find it right here. We need to get to it soon. We need to get to it soon to be able to establish support to have greater upside. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a bounce back up. But again, I've been buying this on the way down because this is definitely a risk on play. And if you guys haven't, I might make another video on this one since Matterport has been checked off. We might need to make another video about another hot trade. And I'm going to push ARKG again. I've already done it once. But the options on these are sick. Oh, Flux. Yeah, I can do that. Let me pull up Flux too. I'll do that after the miners, though. But ARKG is one of those that it's a wicked asymmetric bet if you're looking for a really strong leaps play where you don't have to apply a lot of capital, but you want to get 10 to 20x. This is an interesting one that could do that in a year. So I'm still piling some money into this. All it takes is a narrative change, and that will be a really good play. If we just go risk on, like really go risk on, where people are less worried about everything that's happening, that play will be stupid. All right, so MicroStrategy, effing the shorts today. Gotta love it. Up 12.77%, 0.15% in after hours. A nice return. This is going to get painful for the shorts. Let's check out Ortex. Do I have Ortex on here? Where could I put my Ortex? I lost my Ortex. I'll try and find it. Oh, there we go. Let me see. That's not Ortex. That's my other. I got too many platforms now. You guys have to realize I'm trying to learn so much right now. I'm trying to learn a bunch of platforms. I'm just doing a lot. I'm doing a lot right now. So I will try and stay on top of things. I can't guarantee that that's always going to happen. But let's look at the short interest right now. Oh, woof. It looks like some of the shorts got washed out, and then some of them have come back. But look at the amount that it cost to pay. You had to pay 1.34, which is percent for the cost to borrow for these shorts. So it was very high rate, and it got wiped out down to like zero, as best as I can tell here. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, but the amount, like, it got hit pretty good. So some of these shorts got F today. They had pain, man. They suffered. They got theirs. We'll see if there's more here. It looks like more are trying to pile on, so let's hope they keep doing it. I don't know if these guys realize it, but sure, it can be twice the premium, or it can be double, right? It can have a premium that's double the underlying assets, but it can do that probably the rest of the cycle. So anybody shorting this is a fucking idiot. They're just playing with buyer. I just wouldn't do it. Just don't do it. Don't be stupid. All right, real quick. CleanSpark, we'll hit a few miners here. I know there's a few of you guys that are in stuff that I'm not. I'll pull it up too. All right, CleanSpark up 11%, up 0.58% after hours, back above the golden retracement zone, right where I like to see it. And again, you can see where we found our support over here. Probably going to have to redraw some lines here in a little bit. We'll see. We're kind of megaphoning right now. So that might be our next level of really strong resistance, is going higher like this, where we're in a broadening pattern. We'll really need to get above this for it to go much higher. But again, even if that takes a while, that's nothing to cry about right there. Yeah, just to get, again, it's done so well. But we could over the short term, I mean, we could still run 33% on this one. I do think you're going to see the money swashing around. I don't think Mara got a lot of love today. Let's just pull up that one. I think it will. I think it will. There'll be a rotation that's constantly happening with these miners. It's pretty normal. 600% isn't bad, dude. At all. All right. So Mara is struggling with that 200 moving average. It dropped pretty hard. But Mara can go up 90% roughly to get to its over 90% to get to its previous high. I think it'll do that. I don't even know. Maybe I'll buy some tomorrow if it drops enough. Yeah, 91%. That's a pretty good return. Just to get back to where it was a few months ago. That's a pretty good return. So yeah, there's a few here. There's a few targets. Again, for Mara, I think some of the bigger resistance, I think the 414% return is my low end on Mara, and then the 1186 is the high end. I don't think it'll get that high though. This will be one where it ends between the .618 and the .786, which is pretty normal for Bitcoin to do too, because it's already a big market cap. So it'll die somewhere in here. So anything like above the 100 range, you're probably getting a little greedy, in my opinion, on Mara. All right, let's pull up Cypher real quick. I think somebody said Bitfarms. I'll do that one too. I will not look up Hut 8. Yeah, maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. It's trash, though. Sorry, Sue. Sue's super cute. If cuteness made me want to buy a stock. All right, 456. That looks nice, man. Cypher looks real good, guys. Up 18.75%. This is where I was doing the bulk of my allocation, and I was telling you guys to buy in hard in the 330s. It's gonna go. This thing doesn't really hit resistance until like the 950 level. That'll be the big one. That's the .618, and that's a point where it's going to be hitting some peak volumes here. You can kind of barely see it, but it goes all the way out to here. So that $10 realm will be probably a time to take profits on Cypher, but it's a free ride till then. 112% gains to that level. And I ultimately, my higher target on this one, I don't even think this is possible. Whoa, what happened with this line? What the fuck is going on? Is that right? What is this even? 54? Yeah, that's probably right. Doesn't look right, does it? It doesn't look right. That's my target. I know it sounds crazy. That's my target. It's 10x. It's $11 billion. It's 1,100%. That's my low target probably. The high would be up here like the 63 range with this one. That's why I bought the smaller cap. It's a well-run company, and again, they can do really well. They have aggressive expansion plans. They're holding Bitcoin. They're adding Bitcoin. It's all good stuff. And of course, did I do CleanSpark? No, I don't think I did. Did I? Am I tripping? I think I did. Tell me, did I, people? No, I did. Okay. Wow. Anyway, all this shit did good. Bitfarms. I think somebody wanted Bitfarms. I'll just knock that out real quick. And then we'll go over to the smaller things like Flux and DLO. No more Matterport since it's gone. Now, again, this downward resistance line, we technically look like we're bouncing above it. You could, though, if you looked at the wicks, it's probably a better way to look at it now. Honestly, you could have been more optimistic in the past. But that's still good because we're above it. So it looks like you're finding support on the previous downward trending resistance line, even if we include the wicks, which would actually, you know, if we're not including it, it makes it look better. But it still legitimately is above it, and that's a great sign. Probably a quick run to 240. That would be a decent return. And then the next fib level in the 7s. That's where it'll probably have some resistance, really strong resistance. Again, kind of like similar to Cypher. This is a small cap too. It's only 618 million. They just don't hold. Well, they're operating off Canadian accounting rules. Some people say that it still counts as FASB, or that it's similar in nature. If that's true, I don't know. I don't like their accounting because they're not making any money. I like people who make money. I want to see them make money. Maybe next quarter that changes. They go up a bunch. I don't know. But if I make a bunch off these other miners, I might like just take a little bit off, and then maybe diversify into some of these others. Is volume out, or is it on my end? Is volume out? Can you guys hear? I don't see a lot of chattering. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Oh, okay, good. Good. All right, so that's it for miners. Let's move over to some of the other shit. Let's look at Flux. I heard that went down today. I already own a bunch of it, so I probably won't be buying more right away. This is one where once some of my big dogs start taking off, I'll buy. Let's see, did it find, it looks like it closed under the 100. That's not super great. That's the weekly, though, so we got time on that. Let's look at the daily. Underneath the 200, so it broke down under the 200, so it could wick around here. We've got support. Let's see here. Let me actually move back to the weekly for this to look at the volume profile, the visible range volume profile. Now, where we're at now, since we've broken down to this point, it wouldn't take much to get to 372. So we could fall. I do believe, though, that we're going to see support around this range. It would make sense. Now, could we drop to the 3s, like down here at the $3 range? That is possible. I don't see it going any further than that. That actually, too, would draw the 200 down even more and probably mark the last time that we drop down there before going higher. So worst case, I see this going to $3, which is not a huge drop. I mean, it is kind of, it's 25%, but that's the worst case scenario. Outside of that, so now that we've looked at the worst case scenario, I'd say the best case scenario here in the near future is at least $11 if the markets are doing all right. And again, this is a super small cap. It's only a $67 million company. So if things really started to take off in markets, this thing could go to the next fib. That's why we own the small caps. And if you want to know more about this one, this is not mine. Well, I shouldn't say it's not mine. I did some due diligence, but I didn't make a video about it. My buddy Rex did a video on this one, so you should look him up. He's on Rex Finance. He's on YouTube, and he's on X. You can find him on both. He's a good dude. But that's, so I think, again, 25% downside versus, you know, this thing going up $33 from $4. Seems like a pretty good bet. But I don't want to apply too much more capital to this one. I might apply just a little bit more because it's a small cap, and so it deserves a smaller amount of capital. And I probably put too much, putting 50 grand in it already. So that's probably my limit for that one. DLO, this is my Latin e-commerce play. I don't know how these guys get affected by what's going on in Brazil too. Like Mercado Libre, these guys, SoFi, all that stuff. Maybe over the short term, it's really nothing, but there's definitely some long-term concerns with that. But I do like, it looks like we tried to find support above the fib. That's probably a good thing. If we can hold that, that would be good. That is also really close to peak volume. So maybe we break down and we find a floor at like just a hair under 14. I think that's where we find it, though. I don't think it goes much lower than that. There's just no reason to, because the financials look pretty good on this one. We've looked at it before, and it's down. It's got solid growth. I might actually end up buying more of this one. I don't think I own enough DLO. So if Tesla doesn't plummet tomorrow, this might be a play that I look towards. And it's down, 81% from its all-time high. So I like this play. I do. And then let me just show you here. So I'll show you the finances on this one real quick. And so tomorrow we have Enphase and Tesla. I'm doing Tesla earnings call. I might also take a look at Enphase later, maybe do a recording or something. But I'll be focused on Tesla. And then we have a lot of other earnings. I don't have them all marked down, but I'm probably going to do some additional ones here this next week. Let me see. There's so many on here. I need to add them. I think like Meta. Yeah, Meta's got to get added. Google, probably going to do that one. Snapchat's a disaster. Fuck that. Probably, I'm most curious probably about Meta and Google because of ad revenue. I feel like that's an early indicator to... Sorry, my phone was going to try and talk to me. I think these are an early indicator, and I want to probably go into earnings calls with these, or at least watch them. Maybe watch some other people talk about them and give my own input. But I think these are two of the big ones that I really want to focus on outside of Tesla. And maybe Visa. I'd like to know what their credit card operations are looking like. Anyway, let me go over here real quick and check out DLO, because I just want to show you guys why I like this play. For the people that might not know it, and I made a video about it too, but I like 59% growth year over year. Mercado Libre is the big dog. These guys are the small dogs, but this market is growing so quickly, I feel like there's room for two. Again, revenue looks great, transaction volume. Net revenue retention was dropping. It looks like it ticked up last quarter. Cash flow is getting positive. They still have plenty of cash. That was diminishing a little bit this last quarter. Net income dropped over a few quarters. I don't know if that's going to be a trend. I don't know if that's in Mercado Libre. I probably need to take a look and see if they're seeing the same trend. Now, the revenues still were decent. I mean, 40 million, 28 million. These aren't bad. And if we look at forecasts, it's a $4 billion company, so it's not super cheap. It's not as low cap as Flux. Flux is crazy small. But we can see them getting on the right track again. We can see revenue still increasing. We can see their EPS going up. And it's all about growth right now in Latin America. We want to see lots of growth. We don't want to see them getting crazy, but when we see things like their revenue per employee climbing dramatically from, a 2022, 2022, so 2 years ago, revenue per employee was like $320,000, and now it's like $730,000. So that's a dramatic increase. That's the kind of stuff you want to see. That's what comes with economies of scale. And it looks like we got a lot of stuff in here. Thank you, Alejandro, for doing all this. You can see revenue growth by country. I love that. That's awesome. We can see that TPV breakdown as well. Top 10 merchant revenue. So they're big customers. Operating leverage, again, right where I love it. I love seeing this kind of expansion from operating expenses versus what they're gaining in revenue. That's just beautiful. Stock-based comp, I think, 2.58%. That's not bad. Let's see what the insiders are doing with these guys over a long period of time. Don't have a lot. No insider activity, or we're not getting it reported on. You got to remember, a lot of these Latin American companies, they report like with Cayman Island shit. So that's, if there's anything I hate, it's that. But on that same note, New has been remarkable. Warren Buffett's invested in it, and they're incorporated in the Cayman Islands too. So fuck whatever. That's what the Chinese companies do too. I just think it's sleazy. So 4%. But again, I think that this one could still pop. The growth is pretty great. And with a forward P of 23, I don't think it's that bad. Here's the way I look at it. If they just keep the growth that they have right now, that forward PE is just going to get lower and lower and lower. And if the price doesn't go up, it's going to start. It's just how it works. And when you have a chart like this, when you have a chart that is just doom and destruction and is down almost 81% from its high when people were irrationally exuberant back in August of 2021, that screams opportunity to me. All right. I got to do something. I got to increase the size here. There we go. That's better. Sorry, I didn't have my window up all the way. So I'm going to start going through this and looking at your guys' stocks. If I missed anything, guys, let me know. Hey, thanks for Chill Medic for joining too, and Jess in. All you guys that join and join the channel and provide, $3 a month or more, it is greatly appreciated. Thank you guys very much. Rishab, hey Jesse, could you please do Path? Thanks. Yes, I can. I can pull up Path, but let me just take a look here real quick too. So, UiPath, right? Let me just look here, remind myself. Yeah, decent growth, 31%. Customers over 1 million ARR. Let's look here. Let's look at estimates. Show them getting positive on EPS still for the third quarter in a row for Q1 and Q2. That's cool. Revenue estimates continue to increase, and they do have some seasonality to them in Q4. But again, from this level, all this looks good. It is a $10.7 billion company. Their revenues are $405 million, and they're just starting to get positive with $33 million. So I would argue with UiPath, that it's still got a really decently high valuation. Forward PE is 36.54, so it could grow out of it really quickly. But again, it's still a little rich. Now let's look at the stock. I know I got this one. Done this one a bunch of times. I got to remember that shortcut. Intelligent computing, what was the shortcut I'm supposed to be hitting? I know you told me already. Just to pull that thing up quick. All right, so again, wow. Yeah, so we're finding support. It's actually starting on the weekly here. We're actually starting to find support on the previous volume. That's probably not a bad thing, but I still say that if they have like a bad quarter or stuff isn't going great, we could still dip into the 1750 range before we hit peak volumes. So that's still a possibility, but maybe you get a climb up to 28. That would put it at like 16 billion. To get much beyond that, though, you're going to have to continue to have positive quarters. So they're going to have to keep it going at least with that 30% growth rate if they want to start getting more positive. So it's not an asymmetric play to me right now, in my mind. There's just better plays for a $10 billion company that is only bringing in $20-30 million a quarter in net income. All right. Intelligent computing, LOL, live in 30 days. Yeah, front running the market. You know me. All right. Intelligent computing. Jesse, did you buy Tesla before it was profitable pre-2019? Yes, I did. I actually bought Tesla in 2017 and 18. So I got it in the way back. And I did have calls on it. I would love to tell you that I made the full 33x off the bottom, but I didn't. I listened to naysayers. I didn't think it could go that high. It just kept running. And so I bailed out probably with 15x, maybe 12x in total. So I didn't get the full amount. I kind of regret that. It's such a great company. I mean, I will say this, though. When the PE was over 400, you should fucking sell. That's my take on that. But yeah, I didn't ride the full thing. But I've been in Tesla a long time, and I'm a strong believer. It's actually a better company now than it's ever been. It was so much shittier back then. So much more questionable. The vision was there, the execution was there, but it is so much more guaranteed now. It's just a matter of, is it going to be in a few quarters? Is it going to be in a couple of years? It doesn't fucking matter, though. It's coming. Intelligent computing, although it isn't yet profitable, please look at Poet. It has a lot of asymmetric upside potential as AI server interconnects change over to photonics. Ticker symbol U did a video on it yesterday. I kind of agree with that guy sometimes on a few things, but I don't agree with him on everything. I don't think he understands Tesla very well. But I will look it up. Let me pull up Poet. Yeah, I don't think he's good on Tesla, but he does, I don't know. I think his views on NVIDIA and stuff are pretty insightful. But if there's anything I've learned in life, man, somebody's confidence level doesn't necessarily represent reality and truth. And so you have to do your own research. You have to listen to a bunch of different takes, try and ascertain which ones are stupid. Get rid of those people. Keep the people that are consistently providing value and insight and wisdom. My buddy Tom is very good at that. He's very good with wisdom. Let me see here. And 19% pop. That is a pop. $53 million. Poet Technologies. Why do I remember this name so much? Is there another company named Poet that I'm thinking of? Like a chemicals company or whatever? All right. Poet Tech. Woof. Fuck. No revenue at all, huh? Ouch. All right. Let's check estimates, though. Let's see if we got some positive stuff coming. Ooh. They're going to start making little tiny money. That's pretty nice. I don't love... Let's look. What were their losses? Let me look. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I haven't had caffeine today. It's killing me. Short interest is picking up, but it's super low. Under 1%. Doesn't matter. Institutional ownership's kind of been all over the place. And yeah, I'm assuming... Are you telling me about... Oh, I didn't do Hood. Good call, bro. Gonna do that in a second. Yes. What was I thinking? All right. Net income, negative 5.6 million on revenues of 0.11. I just can't get behind this, man. Their cash is depleted. Yeah, I'm not interested, dude. If anything changes and starts to look better, let me know. I wish I had bought more Matterport. Yeah, that's what people always say after there's something goes up a ton. Always woulda, coulda, shoulda. Intelligent Computing, congrats on your Matterport play, Jesse, and anyone who played along. Matterport is up 181% in a day on a buyout offer. Zoinks. And here I was feeling good about about getting some Tesla at 139-ish this AM. Hey, man, that might still be a good price. We'll see what happens. I think it could trend down just a little more into earnings tomorrow, and I think earnings will surprise people and will go up. But I could be wrong. Real quickly, let me get back. Before I forget, I'm going to get Hood out of the way here. Let's go to Hood. I will save Poet. Pull up some Robinhood. How did I forget Robinhood? Jiminy Christmas. Robinhood is a solid play. Today, 3.37, 0.47% after hours. I think, gosh, it's hard to tell. I think we're still underneath. I think we're still underneath the fib, but we're super close. No. And after hours, we might be above it. That's a good sign. That's a good bottoming sign, too. So if that continues, I could see us running here to at least, the recent high in the $20 range, which would be a nice return. And outside of that, it's the next fib level because there's really nothing holding you back until then. And that's like a 75, 77% return. So it'll be a good one. It'll be a good one. The shortcut to pull your layouts is just the dot. Okay. Period. I can remember that. Maybe. I'm pretty old. All right. CRSP is deeply oversold. Negative 30 RSI daily chart. I can look. CRISPR. Can't remember what these guys... I'm going to look at them from a fundamental level, though. Because I like... With things I don't know as well, this is the way I like to look at them. Because a chart only gives you part of the story. It doesn't make a lot of sense if you don't understand the fundamentals and the macro around you. All right, so this is a weird one. It does have some revenue again. Is that 200 million? 200 million in revenue. Very spotty, but that's not bad. And again, they got some positive net income, 89 million. Can't hate that. It slowed down their burn on their cash. That ain't bad. Operating expenses are getting under control. Cash flow is still negative. Don't love that. Let's look at the rest of this, though, to see where we're sitting. Let's see what the insiders... Woo, yeah, okay. Now I remember. These guys bought pretty decently. 1,600 shares, 1,000 shares, 1,600,000 shares. That's a decent purchase, and there's been more buying than selling recently. Let's look at the extended. Yeah, so they didn't think much of the price in Q4 2020 and 2021. The insiders were selling out then, but they're buying back in now, so they're getting happier. Institutional ownership's pretty good. Short interest is high at 18%. And I'm willing to bet, let me see here, revenue, yes, revenue's dropping a little bit, going negative on EPS, so probably losing money over the next 2 quarters. Again, just very spotty revenues with CRISPR. And will that change in the future? I don't know. But right now, what is their value? 4.7 billion. So I'm going to say for a company that doesn't really make money yet, that 4.7 billion is still overvalued. Final answer for now. Not too interested on the chart. I don't look at ones that are just trying to bounce. I want to look at ones where I think the company is really finding a bottom and some of their financials are representing that. And especially if we can find one of those where we know some of the fundamentals, like maybe it isn't represented in the chart, but we know the fundamentals are going to change in the near future. That's the kind of stuff I want to look at. I get excited about that kind of stuff. So this isn't quite there yet. I don't want something that's, I mean, technically for all intents and purposes, overvalued. Let me see. C-List, I only bought my Matterport last Wednesday, and I too wish I had bought more. Everybody says that. BT, do we just vote through our exchanges for Elon's comp package? We will, but it's not. The vote is June, I think. And what it's different depending upon the companies. You want to make sure that they're not doing a vote by proxy and that you're the one voting. And so check with your exchange to figure out how they manage that. Some will send stuff in written form still. Some do like an electronic voting thing. You'd be surprised. It's pretty weird how some are pretty archaic. So just figure out which ones do what and make sure you vote yes, guys. We need to pay the man. When you tell somebody, when somebody makes a contract with its shareholders to accomplish goals and then they fucking do those to perfection, you pay the man. You don't have a communist dictatorship like Delaware say that this is getting revoked because a person with 7 fucking shares disagreed with the outcome. I'm sorry, man. Like, if there's anything that makes me worried about America, it's shit like that. And you know what? That's why everybody's going to start incorporating in Texas. Fuck Delaware. If you live there, I feel bad for you. Because you obviously have a judicial system that's fucked. All right. More fun stuff. What are we talking about? Oh, didn't want to click on that. Lost my stream here. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. Chris, my buddy Chris. Thank you, my only admin. What do you think about XLE puts I bought today? What is XLE again? Remind me. It's like an energy play. Depends on who they are. Let me see. What is it? Oh, is it a fund? Is it like a short energy fund? Or is it an actual company? ETF. Oh, okay. So I can't really look at fundamentals on it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if like they're incorporated. Like, I don't know if it's a levered ETF to the downside. You might have to fill me in. But energy could be taking a breather. It could be. So that might be an all right play. But, I mean, no guarantees, man. Unfortunately, no guarantees. Wild Frenchie, this is BS. Which thing? Oh, the Delaware thing? Fuck yeah, that's so stupid. No leverage. It's probably good that it's no leverage. It might be like a good cash position. Like, it might go up. Park some money in there. Where do you see Riot going? All right, I'll look at that real quick and then I'll go back in line because I don't want to skip people. I think Riot could do all right. It looks like they spun up another location. I would follow Sebastian Ski if you want like the skinny on a lot of miners. As far as like where they are day after day after day, he's really good at giving updates. These guys obviously got a bonus, right? So this was kind of a falling, it's kind of like a bull flag, but too long almost for one. But we didn't find that having to find the level of support off the previous level, which is good. It's a sign that you're curving up. And the power of this, up 23.11% on the day, is beautiful. This one got a little beat up because everybody was paying attention to Mara, and then people kind of gave up on Mara, and then they started paying attention to CleanSpark, and then the press on Riot, whoever manages their communications and like press sucked. But now they're starting to make some actual changes. They had their CEO leave like a year or something ago too. They fired him, I think. There's just a lot of weird stuff with this one, but I do think that they can do all right. Here's the thing I don't like. It's really great for them to be able to receive electrical, like for turning off their miners, they get paid, right? It's really great to receive those kind of things during the bear market when the price of Bitcoin isn't through the fucking roof. It becomes a hazard towards the upside during a bull market when Bitcoin's like $150,000 and you have to turn off all your mining equipment and it's new mining equipment and it would be making you a lot more than you'll get in energy credits. So I don't like that. I like where CleanSpark has all their miners more. I like other companies for that more. Even places like Bitfarms, I don't know how much they have for like turning off equipment. I don't think that's so much a thing for them either. Do you think AMD could rebound just looking at TA? All right, I'll look at that one. You talk me into it. And then I'm going back to, and then I'm leaving live chat, guys. I'm going back to the other people. Let me see here. AMD. Just because I'm interested in chips, I didn't really look at them too close today. Not a great bounce. Could be a bounce. Definitely want to get above the fib again. Not a great bounce. Seems like maybe it could see a little more downward pressure before it goes up. But it's up 1.36%. Let me just check NVIDIA real quick too. How did they do in SMCI? I didn't even really pay attention. NVIDIA 4.35. So like that, yeah. I mean, it definitely seems like we're sticking with premium right now. These guys have a dividend. They were incredibly oversold when you look at the RSI level going back to, the 87s in January. And then they just kept going higher. So this rollover is getting bought up. Beautiful sign. Beautiful sign for NVIDIA. Let's see. SMCI. Is that the other one? Supermicro? Let's just look at this real quick, too, for my own edification. See, this looks weak, too. So, like, NVIDIA is getting the money, right? It's not these guys. These guys only bounced 0.47%. If anything, this looks like it wants to go lower. The measured move on SMCI, to me, is in the 500 range. Not super great. So, interesting. Jesse, are you trying to send a message by wearing the cutoff muscle tee on a day when the market punished bears? Yes, I am. And the more if I work out more, my arms get bigger. I'm pretty old, but if I can get my arms a little bigger, I'm going to wear it a lot. And that is a message to the bears. You guys best watch the fuck out. All right, let's see here. What were we looking at? CRISPR, we already did. Matterport up 177. Jesse, you were mentioned your trading roles several times. Could you share them? I've got a bunch of them. It's probably too much for this, but maybe I'll do a separate video where I talk through some of that. There's a lot. It's complicated, right? Because you need a strong base, which is the macro. It's global liquidity. It's that the world isn't falling apart. It's that there's no major contagion of anything that we have to worry about that's going to cause a cascading downward spiral in the economy. You need to understand all that stuff as your base. Then you need to understand the fundamentals of the company or investment like Bitcoin that you're in. You need to understand that really well. So those two things are the most crucial part, but I see a bunch of people missing that shit. They'll go straight to like, oh, hey, look at the lines in the chart. And don't get me wrong, there is truth in this that people do, like stupid people will call it astrology for men. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But if you don't know the macro and the fundamentals, you can't be good at TA. And so those are like some of the base things that I follow. That's the base layer. I can go more in deep and stuff later, but that's kind of the thought. The thumbnail for this recap is the gun show. I should do that. Maybe next time. All right. Drew S. Explain Solana. What is it? Why is it so popular? It's just a shitcoin. It's got really low fees. It's got a little bit of centralization. If you want to get a lot of details on Solana, you should watch James from Invest Answers. He goes into it with deep dives. Here's the thing. It's beating Ethereum on just a ton of different metrics. Ton of different volume metrics. Staking isn't as great on it yet, but it's right behind the like Bitcoin and Ethereum and the big dogs, right? Like it's number 3. It's a really solid chain, and then they're going to be hopefully fixing some issues here that allow their transaction throughput to be 3 million or something a sec. It's like a stupid number for TPS, transactions per second. So it could be getting a lot of love. I've got about 105 or maybe more than that. I don't know. What do I have in that? Where is my stuff? Oh, it's up here. Oh, this is weird. It's like I'm trying to scroll up and it's pushing me back down. I don't know if it's the site or what. I got 115,000. I think I've got it in other accounts though too. So let's just say like 120K in that one. So I think pretty highly of it. And again, I kind of go with the winners. James has a really good point on this. Each cycle there are themes, and the ones that do really, really well, those themes you want to kind of run with. And because they continue throughout the cycle. Like last cycle, there were a bunch of stupid fucking dog coins. Very successful with dog coins last cycle if you owned those. And NFT bullshit. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a purpose for like encapsulating data on a blockchain, like especially Bitcoin, the source of truth for the world. That one can't be altered at all and won't be. So like there's a point for some NFTs, but it's probably not like your favorite dog. What time is it? It is 4:30. Okay. I got a little bit of time, but I might have to cut this one early, and I'm sorry to anybody I don't get to in the line because I was kind of trying to bounce between chat here, so I apologize. Eagle Man, any thoughts on holding BTC on exchange versus BTC ETF like FBTC? I like MicroStrategy the most right now because it's like a 2x play versus the underlying asset of Bitcoin. And then next, I mean, if you're good enough and tech savvy enough and smart enough to hold your Bitcoin on your own, that's cool. But for a lot of people, especially if you have like a retirement account, your options are holding it in something like FBTC. And that would be what I want to hold it on farther down in the cycle. I wouldn't want to do it right now. Lisa Marie, good day, Jesse. Would you look at PLNH? I actually have to go somewhere at 4:30, so I need to bounce. So I won't be able to do that today. Remind me tomorrow, Lisa. I'm very sorry. Thank you all for attending tomorrow. I'm probably going to have at least 1 or 2 streams. Definitely the 3 o'clock for Tesla. Be there or be square. And BT, thank you for the $200 tip. If you guys could just make sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that stuff, it'd be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, I will send you out here with a little bit of music, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If I have it, which I do over here. Peace out, everybody.
Last year, cryptocurrency funded every kind of dangerous criminal.
But I would not touch crypto in a million years.
Bitcoin is going to zero.
If I was the government, I'd close it down.
People are losing money in scams and huckster flim-flam
These
artists.
people who own these things should not own your money in any of those. I do think you're an idiot, okay?
It's over.
Go fuck yourself. What do you do? Go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. What do you do? What do you do? Go fuck yourself. Is that clear?